Chapter 28, Part 1. Bai Jing didn't know anything about everything on the internet. When he came out of Gu's stone gambling shop, it was already dark. After the stone gambling battle, Gu Yuanchao took him to Empire Rose Restaurant for an expensive lunch, but in the end, Bai Jing paid the star coins first for this meal, which was a little reward for the creditor. Then the two came to the negative second floor of Gu's stone gambling shop, Gu's unsorted wool area. It was a large underground warehouse. All wool materials were kept together without any partitions. It was roughly estimated that there were at least tens of thousands of pieces. Many wools have sand on their skins, which should be the most primitive wools that have just been shipped from various planets. Hundreds of cleaning robots carefully clean the wool surface with professional tools, then wipe it clean and place it on the stone table one by one. Gu Yuanchao. This is the storage place for the wool that has not been divided by the Gu family, and new wool is replaced every 2 months. I entered your ID information at the entrance. If it is convenient for you recently, you can come here to familiarize yourself with it, and I hope it will help you. After a week, the senior stone gambler team hired by the Gu family will divide the wool material. Before that, you can come and study. There was a touch of complexity in Bai Jing's clear eyes. You have given me such great authority, don't be afraid of me doing things? Gu Yuanchao interrupted him softly, and the corners of his lips twitched upwards. You won't? I believe you. Bai Jing's slender and thick eyelashes trembled slightly, like a butterfly flapping its wings, and his expression softened. Thank you. At this moment, facing the trusting eyes of the other party, Bai Jing's heart was filled with unspeakable warmth and gratitude. The memory of being betrayed by his teammates in the apocalypse seemed to be gradually drifting away from him, replaced by Gu Yuanchao's, I believe in you. Maybe it's time to forget everything before and start a new life again. Bai Jing looked along the wool material one by one. The wool material here is divided according to the initial planet. The order of placement is clear at a glance. The more contact, the wool material characteristics of this planet can be clearly seen. He looked at it row by row, trying to summarize the characteristics of each planet's wool, which would strengthen his judgment on wool. At the same time, Bai Jinghui will look for wool materials that he is not sure about, especially those that are plain on the surface. He will use his senses to detect them one by one. After coming to a conclusion, he will go back and study the reasons. He can often find the places that were ignored before. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. Seeing it a lot, even people who don't know about stone gambling will sum up some experience, let alone a stone gambling master with strong learning ability like Bai Jing. It was not until the end of the last stone betting battle that Bai Jing walked out of the underground warehouse. At this time, it was already dark. The white suspension vehicle soared into the sky and soon came to the eggshell-style enclosed building. The heavy hatch closed quickly after the suspension vehicle entered, like a natural defense base. Since Bai Jing came here, he can only drive in and out of the hover car every day. This is the result of the joint operation of the iris of the security system and the vehicle identification, but it is indeed much more convenient than before. Fortunately, this black suspension car is not Gu Yuanchao's cool black S-Class, but a relatively low-key and restrained one. However, what Bai Jing didn't know was that the white suspension car he was driving was also an S-Class and belonged to the same series as the black one. 2 suspension cars, one black and one white. One flamboyant and one restrained. One cool and the other elegant, are known as the choice of heaven among the suspension cars. After returning home, Bai Jing first took a hot shower and changed into comfortable home clothes. Then click on the light brain, log in to the account of Xinguang Mall, and check the reply of Shanghai Internet Auction House. I wonder if his energy fluid has passed the appraisal? As soon as Bai Jing went online, he was overwhelmed by the news. Appraiser Lu Ming. Master, are you there? Appraiser Lu Ming. Master, the energy liquid you sold has reached the 4th level, which is the best. Appraiser Lu Ming. You can rest assured that our Shanghai auction house will live up to its trust and auction it at a suitable price. Maybe it was because he didn't reply, and after a while, someone else sent the message. The person in charge of Shanghai. Master, your energy liquid is very pure. I wonder if you are willing to cooperate with our Shanghai auction house. Head of Shanghai. The auction house is willing to charge 10 points less as a handling fee, as long as you consign the energy liquid to us. After a few minutes, the message was sent again unwillingly. Head of Shanghai. If you do not agree, we can discuss in detail. Head of Shanghai. Okay, The auction house only charges you 5% of the handling fee, which is already the best price. What's your opinion? In the afternoon, head of Shanghai, Master, your energy liquid has been auctioned off, and you will receive star coins after settlement. Appraiser Lu Ming, Master, are you there? Cat and Cat Crying Expression Pack, by Jing. It's nothing more than the appraiser's excitement. This is a fourth-level energy liquid with a purity of more than 40%, and the purity of this energy liquid is close to 50%, which is the best in the fourth level. Generally, energy liquids above the fourth level will not be auctioned in online auction houses like them, but will be auctioned in groups of 10 in large offline auction houses. As the only appraiser at Shanghai Auction House, Lu Ming was struggling to deal with various consignment items every day. Nearly half of these items were unqualified, which really annoyed him. Originally, he didn't care when he saw this silver energy box. There are too many elementary energy masters now. There are not hundreds or dozens of energy liquids sent to him every day, and many of them simply do not meet the standard of consignment. Lu Ming sighed. Although it was an online store, it was a formal auction house anyway, and not everything could be sold on consignment. This first-class energy liquid, even the purity of the energy liquid, cannot reach the first-class energy liquid. Unless it is sold to a robot processing factory in batches, who will buy it? Lu Ming took over so many items every day, so he naturally acquired an unparalleled identification speed, and each item would not exceed 30 seconds in his hands. When he opened the silver box, he glanced at it and found that it was only 1/3 of the weight. Lu Ming sighed. He was probably a novice with poor mental strength. He couldn't even extract a whole box of energy liquid. He rolled his eyes helplessly, poured the liquid in the silver box into the special testing equipment, and went on to identify other items. After more than half an hour, he finally dealt with some of the mess in his hand and stretched out to get a rest. I glanced at the screen of the detector inadvertently and saw that it displayed purity 48.75%, level 4 energy liquid. Oh, the fourth level energy fluid is really something that beginners use to exercise. Just as Lu Ming was about to sit down, his body suddenly shuddered and he bounced off the chair. No, the level 4 energy fluid was just displayed? Lu Ming couldn't take a rest and hurriedly operated the instrument to identify it twice and obtained the same result. The purity was 48.75%, the fourth level energy liquid. Hiss, he was extremely excited. This level of energy liquid has never appeared in the Shanghai auction house. The level 4 energy liquid can be extracted, and it is still the best purity in level 4. The level of this energy master is at least intermediate level or above, and it is even very likely that he is a senior energy master. The purity of level 4 energy fluid is 40% to 50%. The purity extracted by the average intermediate energy engineer is below 45%, and the purity of this 48.75% has more than 80% probability from the hands of the senior energy engineer. Lu Ming quickly reported to the person in charge, who was also his friend, and happily sent a message to the energy engineer whose online name was Bai, waiting anxiously for a reply. After a few minutes, he glanced at the interface and did not reply. After a while, still no reply. Woohoo, do you think his identity is not enough? Also, to the outside world, he is just an appraiser, and no one knows that he owns 30% of Shanghai shares and is also half a shareholder. So, the person who contacted the energy engineer was replaced by the person in charge of Shanghai. Huangjiu, the person in charge, was equally excited. He lowered the handling fee from 20% to 10% and then to 5%. Still no reply. Both of them felt a little cold. Perhaps the master was just too boring? That's right, otherwise it wouldn't just extract that little energy fluid. Alas, they both sighed in unison. That's all. Since it's a consignment sale, let's auction it first. If the master sees that the auction price is good, he can change his mind. The Shanghai Internet Auction House will put the lot on the shelves at 10 a.m. every day. The starting price is 2,000 star coins, and the minimum price increase is 500 star coins each time. The auction time is 2,400 hours on the same day. Except for the sellers with their own auction prices, in order to ensure that other lots are not sold at a low price, the appraiser will show the corresponding reference price. Once the final auction price is more than 20% below the reference price, the lot will be recalled and put back on the auction block a week later. If the bid exceeds the reference price, the lot will automatically enter a 1-minute countdown. If there is no bid, the lot will be acquired by the buyer. If someone bids, the two will continue to compete. After the 1-minute countdown ends, the higher bidder wins. Bai Jing's bottle of energy liquid is only 1/3 of the standard energy box, and the basic price of the 4th-level energy liquid is 200,000 star coins. Lu Ming thought about it and conservatively marked the reference price of 70,000 star coins and noted that the purity was 48.75%. This purity is much higher than that of the general 4th-level energy liquid, and it is close to the purity of the 5th-level energy liquid. I hope it can be auctioned for a high price. Starting from 10 o'clock, many people came to Xinguang Mall to buy some items that they were interested in. Shanghai Auction House ranked 4th in online auction houses, so most people came here after browsing the first 3 stores, and it was almost noon when they started bidding. The appraiser Lu Ming and the person in charge hurriedly drank a nutrient solution to fill their stomachs, so they stayed here nervously. Judging from the browsing records, many people curiously looked at Lot 58, which is Bai Jing's energy fluid, but most of them left in a hurry, and no one bid for it for 2 hours. It's not their fault. Most people still choose to trade offline for this kind of mid to high-level energy liquid, or directly provide jade for the energy division to extract. Even if you buy it, you will choose the most reputable store first, and will not choose the 4th-ranked Shanghai auction house that seems to have a lot of items. Besides, this Shanghai auction doesn't seem to be reliable. In addition to the low-level energy liquid, there is only one 4th-level energy liquid, and it only contains 1/3 of the amount, which is a bit ridiculous. Who will buy it? What's more, ordinary people won't buy middle and high-level energy fluids in order to save money. For them, the secondary energy fluid is also sufficient, but it is not so silky to use and needs to be replaced frequently. There is no need to use such a good one. As for families with small assets, some have a certain friendship with senior energy engineers, some go to offline auction houses to buy, and few people come to online auction houses. Lu Ming was a little anxious. If the energy liquid could not be sold, how could he explain to the master? At this time, someone walked up to Lot 58 and looked at the energy fluid inside with interest. Lu Ming's eyes lit up, and the next moment he heard the man shaking his head and sneering. Is this energy liquid also auctioned? The middle-aged man looked at the price again. The reference price is 70,000? Shit. Grabbed the money, then, without hesitation, he turned around and left. Lu Ming was suddenly disheartened. Look, someone has bid. Looking at the floating numbers of Lot 58, Huang Jie shouted excitedly. But soon, the light in his eyes dimmed, because only 500 star coins were added to the number, and it stopped at 2,500 star coins. As time passed by, the mood of the two became worse and worse. Their store has been doing this for more than 10 years to achieve such a scale, but it is still no match for the top 3 stores with backgrounds. Lu Ming is a senior appraiser. In order to make the store they partnered with bigger and stronger, he resigned from his previous high-paying job, never a minute wasted. With his strength and talent, it is a pity to be nestled in such a small online store. But even if they work so hard, they can only stabilize the ranking in 4th place, and there is no way to improve. Because the first 3 have intermediate-level energy masters they are familiar with offline, they can bring them a steady stream of 3RD and 4th-level energy fluids, and they have accumulated a group of loyal old customers. Unlike them, they have no resources and no background, and can only boil a little bit. So when this master with the online name, Bai, appeared, whether it was the person in charge Huang Jie or Lu Ming, they all saw hope in their eyes at the same time. Maybe he was an opportunity for them to continue to break through and improve their rankings. However, reality gave them a fatal blow. Lu Ming thought sadly in his heart, even if the master didn't reply, they didn't have anything worthy of the master's agreement, and even sold the energy liquid with such a high purity. Lu Ming, look, it's sold. Huang Jie, the person in charge, frantically shook his friend's arm. Ah, sold it? Damn it, it's really sold. Lu Ming couldn't help but utter a foul language. I saw that the price of Lot 58 suddenly rose from 2,500 stars to 100,000, which was 30,000 stars higher than his reference price. Lu Ming and the person in charge were about to cry with joy. God, this time I finally have an explanation for the master.